membership does not require public speaking, to be clear. You don't have to go out and wave a flag. The flag is in your yard already.
That's correct.
But we do want you to talk to the neighbors and tell people, hey, if someone asks you about your sign with the QR code in front, promote it. Tell them to scan it. Tell them to sign up. Tell them to get involved. When you show up to these meetings, we will also be presenting different memorandum ideas that we would like to present to our council people to change certain policies that we would like to see changed. And if you want to be involved in that, show up to these meetings, because we talk a lot of shit. We talk a lot of shit. Was my personal way of not only keeping myself accountable, but my neighbors accountable, and making sure that I can't say that I want to see something and not strive for it. And so I'm striving for it.
I think that's one of the most important pieces that's missing right now. And we talk a lot about that. It's that generation of, oh, this is not my fight. We shouldn't get involved in certain things that's going on in the community. But there are things that you can do in the community that can get you prepared. And this is one of them. If part of that is having the ability to have an open discussion and know your neighbors, that's going to be a huge part when the reckoning comes, because you want to know who lives next door to you.
Right.
You want to know if they are able to protect you or you need to protect them. So I think all of that, what you're doing, is definitely meaningful, and it's a start. So finally, we done heard somebody who's doing something in the community. We need more of that. I think we need more of that. We need it coming more from our churches. We need it more coming from our civic organizations, and we need it more from just individuals. You don't have to be an elected official. You don't have to be the businessman. You can be just a regular person who want to do something. And if you got something that you can bring to the community, I think you should do it. So what's going on with you, Jeff?
You don't know that I have my J. I graduated that a couple months ago. But no, I think, I want to go back to what Unicorn was saying. I think in that mission and what she said, that it's guided by the residents, is that's important for people to understand that this is something that's guided by the residents. And so there's no one person standing out as, I'm the leader, I'm leading this, but this is guided by all of us. And it's also important because it opens the door, as you said, Kim, for conversation.
That's
for
correct.
People to talk to each other, because we minimize what conversation will do. And a lot of folks don't know their neighbors.
That's correct.
I grew up when we knew our neighbors, because I remember being going to Harvey Rice, and living on Forest, and we would have, my brother and I were latchkey kids, but we would have to come in the house, and then we would have to go lock the door, go on the patio or the porch, and wave to our neighbor to let our neighbor that we were in the house know our neighbor we were in the house safely.
That's correct.
And then we went back in and had to call mom at work and say, yes, we home, we waved, we locked the door. But that was because there was a relationship between my mom and the neighbor who looked out for us when we came home from school. And so there are certain things like that we just have lost as a community, and we got to rebuild. We got to get it back.
Well, I want to stay on that point for a minute. Suburban life does that to you a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
Because I grew up in like Glenville and in the inner city, where we sat on the front porch. You played in the front yard, you played in the street, you played in the community. When we moved to Cleveland Heights, we noticed that nobody really sits in the front. You can ride down the street on a beautiful day. Either everybody sucking up central air, because you ain't have central air down the way in many houses, so you was forced to be outside. When you go there, either they're sucking up central air, or everybody has such big backyards and things, and they make their backyard so nice that everybody is in the backyard.
In the backyard.
So when you do see your neighbor, you probably see your neighbor every once in a while. You see your neighbor in transit. You see him walking out, headed to work. You see your neighbor maybe cutting their grass, if they don't have a landscaper who's doing that now. And so if that's happening, you don't even see them doing that anymore.